Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be watching Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. Now, if you guys watched the last video in this series, City Lights, you would know that this video is a part of the top 100 IMDB watch list series that I'm doing on this channel. I just repeated a bunch of words and none of that made any sense. But that's what we did. And at the end of all these videos, we spin a wheel, right? Sorry, I have food in my mouth. I'm gonna try and talk away. I'm trying to get through this intro as best as I can. This is chaotic already. I can't even talk. I'm still kind of eating a bit. It's just bad. It's just all around bad. But we're gonna get through this. But yeah, IMDb Top 100. We did that. We're doing that. We're in the process of doing that. We are on week 4. We're on week 4, okay? I want you guys to know this. There are 100 movies on this list. And we are on week 4. The first movie we ever watched was Star Wars, the original one from 1977. 2 weeks afterwards, we're summoned like like it's jury duty to return to Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. So in the dude, we have 97 other things we could have landed on, less actually, because we're not watching any of the Studio Ghibli movies that are on here, but we landed on all of the Star Wars stuff already. How did we do that? I don't know, but you know what? It's okay. I know that this may come across as like negative, right? Like this whole intro seems kind of negative. I like Empire Strikes Back a lot. It's like one of my favorite movies. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of baffled, really. I think that's it. I think I'm just like confused because it's like we could have landed on like, literally anything. But here we are on Empire. Like I said, I enjoy Empire. It's my favorite of the Star Wars original trilogy. There's a lot to unpack here. There's so much good in this, and I can't wait to revisit it. It's also the Star Wars movie that I think I've seen I've probably seen this one the most. It's either this one or A New Hope. And seeing as how there were a bunch of things that really stood out to me on the rewatch of A New Hope, there's probably gonna be a bunch of things in here that are going to stand out to me as well on this rewatch. One of the things that really stood out to me when I was rewatching A New Hope is the all of the little enhancements George Lucas made since its original release, and I'm very, very curious to see how much he touched this one. Especially because it is like it's probably the most beloved of the original trilogy. I know it's probably a toss-up between A New Hope and this one. But I don't know. It's also a lot of people think that George Lucas directed this. He didn't. It was Irvin Kershner. I don't know how George Lucas would feel about, touching someone else's work, right? Because it's like, it's not yours. It is yours, but it's also not yours. So I'm just curious to get into this. I know that he did touch something, he did mess with some stuff, but I'm just curious to what extent. But you know what, as long as it doesn't interfere with the story, as long as I still have a good time, we'll be all set. But anyways, with all that being said, let's just get right into it. This is Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. This is another case of where I wish I was watching this on a much bigger screen. I love how in all of these, we just pan down from the title card to just whatever, but it's a pan down and it really helps capture the scope and the scale of everything. Wow, this holds up really well. I love this, man. I love it when you can just see it's shots in space where you can just see something disappear into the stars. I've always loved that. This is so iconic. The way these things just float around. I love the designs of everything in this.
Betty girl, hey, what's the matter? You smell something?
Damn. You see, I love that we just open up the film with Luke losing immediately. Well, not really losing, but just like failing in a way. Almost like it's a central theme of the movie. I love the looks. It already establishes that there's a growing connection between the two of them immediately. without any words.
No, that's not it. Come on.
I like that we have people walking through as they're having this intimate conversation. You know, it does make this whole thing feel more lived in. It feels strange if no one was interrupting this moment. And also, we're just blasting through the reintroductions of all of these characters so fast. Like, we're showing what everyone is doing so far. We're shown what Chew's doing. We're shown what Han is doing. We're shown what C-3PO and R2 are doing, and everything is going wrong for all of them, and it's amazing. Oh, it's so stringy too. Can I show that on YouTube? Is that a thing I can do? I also love that there's no dialogue, but also it rewards the audience for like remembering, you know, the Force and all of that. And at this point, it's probably become like a huge part of pop culture anyway. So that way, this moment right here, any second now, will pay off. Oh my God! Any second now. There it is. Yeah. Star Wars theme kicks in for a second. Lightsaber turn off sound effect, even though the lightsaber was still on. Was that a George Lucas enhancement, or is that just an error in the original cut? I'm not sure. This shot goes hard. Oh, it's the iconic scene.
Hang on.
I've always wondered, what is that? Can I show that? There's a lot of things in here that I'm like, can I put this on YouTube, or will they get upset at me? I thought they smelled bad on the outside. Ooh, I love the sound effect of that. It sounded a little bit like Vader's breathing a little. I never noticed that, but that's actually really, really cool. It's not the same sound, obviously, but it's just the... Foreshadowing, I guess.
You didn't see us alone in the South Passage. She expressed her true feelings for me.
What?
Did she know?
Well, I guess you don't know everything about women yet.
Did they know at this point, or was that like, did they know? Did they know? Did they know? The hair. Oh, the first time they play the theme. I can't play much of it here because I will get my account cup. I will get a strike maybe. YouTube won't be happy is the point. But goddamn, the score kicking in, all of these Star Destroyers, more than we've ever seen in one spot before, all coming in at once. And also this massive one. There's just something so imposing about this. It's just, yes. Oh, just the way people look at Vader now, too. It's like, before people were just making fun of him to his face, and now everyone's like... Even he's like stuttering, bro. What a way to make him like feel more of like a threat now. It also tells you like how aggressive he is in finding Luke and the other members of the rebellion since the ending of the first one. For him to just completely change the way people look at him. Oh my God. Again, scale.
He felt surprised, was wiser.
The stutter, again, showing how much more terrifying Vader has become.
You aren't the man now, Admiral, yet.
I love that the movie didn't feel the need to re-explain all of the things involving the Force. It's just like, it's all become a part of pop culture. You know what's up. We're just gonna go. We're just gonna have fun with it. You know what's happening. And I respect them for not stopping the movie and being like, oh yeah, oh no, he's Force choking me. Like, no, you get it. You understand what he's doing. It's, again, trusting your audience is, it works. It works. It makes it more fun. Oh, wait, did they take that ship down? Really? Oh, is this because he got too close to the system? Whoa. Okay, I was not expecting them to get away, actually. I was expecting them to get, like, murked. Again, I've seen this before and I forgot that part. I like that this is the best the Empire could put up to get through a snow planet is just these slow-moving walkers. I can't get upset at them. The AT-ATs are like iconic, and I can't. The designs for them are just, come on, man. But look at them. Even though they're not exactly the most efficient method, it's pretty damn cool to look at. I like that this first-person shot. I mean, it just, you know, puts you inside the vehicle, makes you feel like you're there, like, flying around. It's neat. Yeah, I knew it was coming, but again, failure and having putting our heroes at a disadvantage makes it more exciting.
I've reached the main power generators. The shield will be down.
I like the little Vader. Can he be that height always? I need a Star Wars movie where Vader is like this tall. But also, that seems to be like the only guy in the Empire that's not terrified of Vader and is also kind of competent at his own job. I love that this is like probably their first idea after they realize they can't just shoot it down. They must have dealt with AT-ATs before this, and just, you know, that's how they know this would have worked, right?
All troops will debark for ground assault.
The designs of those are a little interesting. I like that we had our first battle be, you know, the rebellion lose, especially after they took a huge victory at the last one. It's just, yeah. Again, The Empire Strikes Back is a very, very fitting title for this, because that's exactly what this is about. Ooh. Yo. Yeah, they gotta leave, like, now.
Sir, might I suggest that you...
That is so much more rude than anything Han could have said to him at that moment. They just need to get into the air. Oh my god, they're bringing out everything for this. What a sick transition to this. You know, their escape wasn't really an escape after all. Yo! The score is frantic too. Talk about, I know I mentioned like the last movie being one long chase. That's what this movie is too for these guys, pretty much. God, the build up to this sequence, I know what's coming, and it's just, right? Just, yes. Oh, the score. I don't know how much I can play, but god damn, it's so good. There's a level of elegance here to it that acts a bit in contrast to the chaotic nature of this sequence, but it works so well. Visually, this holds up so well. I know I'm gonna keep saying that, but god damn. That might have been like one of my favorite sequences in this whole movie, if not my favorite sequence. There's just so many to pick from. I'm probably gonna be saying that's my favorite sequence for a lot of this, honestly.
You be more careful.
He just wants to go for a little swim. There's something so eerie about that. The first little glimpse we get to see of Vader without the mask on.
But it has entered an asteroid field and we cannot risk...
He's stuttering too. Everyone is just like... Oh boy. They're trying their best to be professional, but they're just so scared that he's just gonna choke them, you know? Or just kill them because he's pissed off.
Sir, it's quite possible this asteroid is not entirely stable.
Really?
Not entirely stable.
I've always wondered, what is he eating here? Like, is that just like a space version of like a protein bar or something? Star Wars fan. Dude, I know that there's something on the Star Wars wiki about this. So if you're a Star Wars fan and you know what he's eating, let me know. And hey, there he is, finally. This, I forgot. I'm trying to put myself back in the time period of, you know, 1980, whenever this came out. And like, nobody knew who Yoda was. Just seeing this creature for the first time. I mean it when I say like, Yoda is one of the best. He's a classic in the... he's the original freaky little guy. One of the original freaky little guys. And I do know, you know, from later Star Wars canon that Yoda is the only one that talks like this. So that just gives him more of a freaky little guy status. He just decides to talk in riddles and rhymes because he feels like it. Or maybe there is a reason as to why, and I don't know about it. I like to think that it's just because he feels like it and he wants to. There's something about, you know, the puppet Yoda. Of course, they didn't have the CGI technology at this point, but the puppet Yoda just blends in so naturally with this particular environment, you know. I know Frank Oz was involved, right? He voices him too, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, the puppet is just, it fits in so well. And of course the voice coming out of it is just, it's exactly what you would picture coming out of that little thing.
I believe, sir, it says that the power coupling on the negative axis has been polarized. I'm afraid we'll have to replace it.
Where are they gonna replace it at?
I think we better replace the negative power couple. Hey, your worship.
It was so aggressive for like no reason, bro. Again, highlighting their snarky relationship to each other. What else shows why they work so well? It's because they both kind of secretly hate each other in a way. Oh, the score! Oh my god, I love this. I don't know how much I can play of this, but this is like, I would argue, for my money, as iconic as a lot of these pieces are in these films, the Han and Leia theme are, it might be my favorite. It might be my favorite one. It's just, there's an elegance to it that's just, it's so iconic. It's also depressing in a way. Oh, what happened to that guy? He was just there and he's gone now. What happened? Did he get killed? It's our first sighting of the Emperor, right? Yeah, this is. He looks a little cross-eyed too, which kind of adds to this.
If he could be turned, he would become a powerful ally.
I love that whole sequence. It kind of sets up Vader's journey for the rest of this without spoiling anything, of course.
Look, I'm sure it's delicious. I just don't understand why we can't see Yoda now.
Patience!
He's trying to help him out, and Luke is not, you know, taking the advice.
Father? How for Jedi was he?
How does he know? Is it clicking in Luke now? Can he hear that too? Can he hear Obi-Wan speaking?
Ever his mind on where he was. What he was doing.
Yeah. See, this is pretty much like one of the only callbacks we have to the original one. Well, not callbacks, but like reminders of what our characters were like in the original one, or the first one, you know. But it works in this context because this is Yoda trying to reject the idea of ever trading Luke because he's not present in the moment. He wants other things. He wants to go out. He wants all the big grand stuff, but he can't appreciate the now. He can't appreciate where his life is at this moment. Also, it sets up Luke's journey for this film and also the next one, which we'll get to next week. But don't worry, we're still reacting to the rest of this. I know that sounded like a segue into cutting the video off, but we're good. Don't worry. We have half the movie left. We're okay.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Yeah.
There it is. There's the line. Yeah, they don't have a choice. They got to get out of this.
The cave is collapsing.
I don't know how she could think it was a cave. That was so clearly teeth. Also, I like that little worm thing, whatever that is. Holy crap. Mark Hamill was buff as hell for this. I never realized how kind of built he was. Oh, I like the slow-mo on this. You know, it's adding to the fact that this isn't exactly real. This is more of a vision. There's your bit of foreshadowing. Why is Bosk like standing in front of everyone else? What makes him so special?
I want them alive. No disintegration.
As you wish.
I like how he has to tell Boba Fett that specifically. Like, hey, you gotta listen to me now. Just kind of add to that quality. Just that one line. Just him singling him out tells you so much about Boba Fett. And it makes him so much more cooler. Without even having him do anything besides just stand there. You know?
Well, there's no trace of them, sir. Captain, Lord Vader demands an update on the pursuit.
Oh, shit. Just the look. He knows what's gonna happen, yeah. You don't even need to show what's gonna happen after that. You just know. You just know. Do or do not. There is no try. One of the most iconic lines from this entire franchise. One of the main failures of Luke trying to use the Force in this situation is he's thinking about it practically, You know, he's like, oh, it's too big. The swamp is too thick. It's going to pull it down. That doesn't matter. The Force doesn't make any sense anyway. He has to just concentrate on the now and what he's trying to accomplish. And not, yeah, exactly. Not anything practically. Just try and just do it, you know? As Nike says. This score is iconic too. Is this going to flip the switch for Luke? Is he gonna finally understand that anything is gonna...
I don't believe it.
Anything is possible?
Don't fail me again, Admiral.
It seems a little like he doesn't even want that position. Just the look on his face, just like... after he's just been promoted, it's like, oh no, I'm next. Oh. The way this is filmed, it's just so perfect. Putting you into the ship, tracking the movement so elegantly without it being shaky and overdone. You know, it does add a flowiness to it. It oddly enough makes it more immersive without the shakiness. But just like, it moves when the ship moves. It's not excessive with it. It flows nicely. Also, good reveal right there. You can tell that Luke is more in tune with everything after seeing Yoda pull the ship out. But you need something to snap him out of it, yeah. You can't have him succeed for too long, especially not in this film. This makes me want to cover Solo on this channel, because I do have things I want to say about Solo. We'll see how I feel later on down the line. But I do think of all the other Star Wars films, that's the only one I'm likely to cover. I'm just letting you guys know that now. There's a chance I'll cover... I don't know if I'm going to cover the prequels. Probably not. I don't think I'm going to cover Rogue One. Solo has the best chance out of all of them. I'm not lying to you. Because there's things I want to talk about in that. And then, of course, I'm not touching the other ones. Because I don't want to get killed. So, I'm just going to leave it with... Maybe it's just going to be the original trilogy and Solo. I'm just going to leave it with the ones that won't get me, you know, doxxed or shot. So yeah, we'll see what happens though. Oh, I like his little assistant he's got with the bald head and the little things. I used to know his name. I forget it now. What is his name? Someone tell me.
What have you done to my ship?
Your ship? Hey, remember, you lost her to me fair and square.
Did you now? Even Lando knows that's bullshit.
C-3PO human cyborg relations. My facilities are at you.
Adding on to the trend of everyone just hates C-3PO.
Oh, nice to see a familiar face. Ichuta. How rude.
I want to know what that translates to. Star Wars fans, teach me. Does anyone out here speak the droid language? Whatever that word was? You know, this goes back to what Yoda was saying before about him never being where he's at now and always thinking ahead. It's going to just lead to another failure because he's not concentrating on on the present.
That boy is our last hope.
No, there is another.
I love the lighting in this. Having him illuminated from the darkness when he says, no, there is another. That gives you hope that even if he does fail, there are other prospects to being the one. Totally not inspired by Frank Herbert's Dune at all.
Having trouble with your droid?
No problem. Why?
This is what Han wanted all along. Finally, we get him to shut up. Oh, what are those things? What are those things? Tell me. Give me their information. I want to know who they are and what they do and what do they do? What are they? What are they? Tell me, please. If you couldn't tell, I love my freaky little guys in these movies. The more of them, the better.
I've just made a deal that'll keep the Empire out of here forever.
That reveal is so good. You can't even really blame Lando because what would have happened? What else could he have done? Either way, they would have gotten Han and Leia and Chewie. This is probably the best outcome for all of them at that point. Not saying what he did was right, but it's like, what else could he do? He's kind of backed into a corner, you know? Can Chewie even, like, put him together? 'Cause I know he can work on the ship, but, like, can he fix this? Oh, he's got it. He knows what's up. I want to know what that is, because it's just... Oh, God. The lighting in this is so good. And I also love just, you know, everything in this feels so real and tactile. Do the little creepy things work here? That's what I want to know. What are those things, again? Yeah, the smoke just adds so much atmosphere to this. The kick-in of the famous theme as they finally...
I love you.
I know.
I know. Oh, it's such a good line. That slight smile. All of this is so good. The look up. It's all just so Han. Just looks. You don't need any dialogue. Just, yeah, let the score play, let the looks and the actors' performances do their thing. Conveys so much more emotion that way. The looks they give each other. You know, they're scheming something together now. Again, for as talky as this movie is, it doesn't always just explain what's going on. You just have to infer it from the actors' looks and their eyes. I think that's just so good. You know, just trusting the audience to understand what's happening goes such a long way when creating like a engaging sci-fi or just an engaging film in general. And I'm glad that this has the confidence in its audience to like keep up and to like understand what's happening just from the actors' performances alone and what they do with their eyes and their face. It's just, yes. Does he control him with the little Apple Watch? Is that what's going on? Is that what he can do? I like the contrast from the bright whites to this page black area. Also, I love the way it just cut to silence right here. Oh, I just got, I got chills, dude. All you can hear is the rumbling of the machine. It's just like, whew. There are so many iconic images in this film. This one might be the most iconic. Just them with their lightsabers like this. Yep. You do get the sense that Vader's just toying with him because he's just holding it with one hand. Just whatever. Fuck it. Like, he doesn't care. Yeah, just one-handing it. It's insane. There's no effort being put in. But he also doesn't want to kill him, so it makes sense. He just wants to toy with him. You know, just give him some experience fighting. I might as well just wave this thing around for a bit. Oh. R2 just stumbles upon them. That's cool. I'm not bothered by that, actually. I'm actually not. Like, I'm being for real. I'm not bothered by that. I'm cool with it. It's fine. And we're focusing on Leia for this moment too. Smart. Again, she doesn't say a word, but yet you can feel every emotion for that character. That was a nice cut. Like, it just tracked her eye movement so it would just flow so nicely into the next shot. It's just, yes. That's how this should be done.
All too easy.
Is he just gonna... Oh, I thought he was just gonna start unplugging things. Well, Vader just ruined the machine, I guess. I wonder if Vader is like actually like disoriented or injured by any of this, or if he's just like acting, you know? Like, oh no, I've been hit. Don't come and chase me and try and fight me anymore. And then baiting him on some more because, you know, Luke thinks that he's weakening him, but it's just a manipulation tactic. I'm not sure. Okay, it's one of those things. Oh, whoa. That was a little jarring, but okay. But yeah, it's one of those things that you kind of just think about after seeing how Vader was acting at the start of that fight. You know, how much of this is an act, how much of what Vader is doing is genuine fighting. I don't know. You can't tell. The fights are also so much faster in this. You know, in the first one, lightsaber fight was a little slow and kind of janky, even though I liked it. But this one, there is, you know, it's quicker. It's faster paced. It feels more aggressive. And it works. is, especially in this context and with what's going on right now. You know, some of that does have to do with the budget being higher, but also it's just the emotions of this fight feel a little bit stronger story-wise than the one lightsaber fight we had in the other one. So I love this one shot. When I say it being more aggressive in the fights, this is a perfect example of that. See, now it seems like Vader is actually kind of trying, unlike before. Yeah, there it is. I love the score kicking in as well. See, I'm surprised the movie went there. You know, just your hand is gone.
He told me you killed him. No. I am the father.
Yeah, the iconic line. Ooh, and the score kicking in as like the realization sets into Luke's face. It's so good. That shot too is just... He has two options, really.
Come with me. It is the only way.
It's not a comedic moment, but I do just love how Vader just kind of goes limp. He's just like, oh, I didn't think he was going to do that. It's almost like Vader didn't even consider that was a possibility. I'm glad that we had something fall, because then that establishes, you know, just the danger of the situation, really. Helps put you in that mindset. And plus, he's only got one hand to hold on to something with. It's just, yeah, my fear of heights could not... Oh my god. We're establishing this connection. We have the Force theme kicking in as well. Again, just planting the seeds for things that'll happen or be revealed in the next one. And you just don't even know it yet. Oh my god, he looks messed up, dude. I guess, it, you know, it makes sense given the context of the situation, but... God damn, bro. Ooh, what is that? What was that, like the planet covering like a... What was that? That was neat. I like that shot a lot. I love the way that the Star Destroyer looks. It's just... Yes. It can't even fit in the screen.
Luke.
Father.
The fades, the way it's fading between, it's not like a hard cut. Yo, I'm geeking out over editing choices, which, you know, not a whole lot of people care about, but the way they're handling this is just, yo, it helps build that connection between the two of them, that link. It's such a small little detail, but it adds so much to the world and their connection to each other.
Luke.
It's still doing it. It helps highlight their connection to one another. It's just, yes.
You did it!
Everyone's just staring at him. That guy doesn't care. Everyone, oh no, he cares. Everyone was just unsure of what he was gonna do at that moment. It's just, but nothing happened. He knew it was his fault, so he took responsibility. Is he wearing Han's clothes? What? Again, they don't outright say that he has a robotic arm, but it's, you know, shown to us visually. Which is neat. I like it. This shot is so iconic, too. I like how we're just holding on this. We're allowed to sit in the emotions of the ending. We don't need any dialogue. We're in our lowest spot right now. And we just kind of have to live with this for a bit. And then it cuts. One of the most frustrating cliffhangers ever. A part of me... I know we landed on Return of the Jedi, right? I'm not saying I'm going to do this. I'm not doing this. But I kind of want to. I'm not going to. But I really want to just... And I really just want to not jump right into Return of the Jedi and just make you guys suffer with that cliffhanger. I'm not going to. We're gonna cover Jedi. Don't worry. We're gonna talk about it next week. We're gonna finish this up, right? But one of the most frustrating cliffhangers of all time. There's just you want it to continue. You know it's gonna end, right? The music is building to that with the Han and Leia theme, establishing what the next film is gonna be about right off the bat. you know it's gonna, you just know it's gonna cut. You don't want it to. But yeah, that's what makes that cliffhanger works so well. It's a bittersweet ending. We're at our lowest points, and yet, you know, we're planting the seeds for the next adventure. Man, oh man, oh man. We're gonna talk about this one. Star Wars: not Return of the Jedi. We didn't watch Return of the Jedi today. We're watching that next week. Today we watched Empire. This is probably the most iconic of the Star Wars films, I would say. All of the big moments that people remember are in this one, with the exception of the Death Star explosion and the binary sunset. I feel like all of the bigger moments that people remember, the Luke, I am your father, do or do not, there is no try, the AT-AT attack on Hoth, all of it. It's all from this movie. Even the way that people look at Vader, Boba Fett is in this. You know, it's just, yeah, it is the most iconic Star Wars for a reason, and it's because it's good. It's because it's really goddamn good. I know I mentioned that the first one, A New Hope, felt like a chase. This one is that times 10, because at least in A New Hope, our heroes have a chance every now and then to like take a breather. You know, they don't know they're on Tatooine really at the start. They don't know the droids are on Tatooine. Luke is not even involved for like for the beginning part of it. But for this, it's just, it doesn't let up. Han and Leia and Chewie, all of them, they don't have a chance to take a break. It's just, we gotta move, we gotta move, we gotta move, we gotta move, we gotta move. Because, you know, the Empire is just constantly chasing them down with this massive fleet. And you get the sense that, like, the Empire took their failure from, you know, the Death Star explosion very, very seriously, because they're chasing them with, like, 7 Star Destroyers the entire movie. It's just, you know, in the last one, it was really just one, because it's like, we don't really need all of these big ships. We got the Death Star. We'll be fine. Oh, it's gone now. Yeah, we need to like just send like every single, just send all of our ships down to this one ice planet so we can go just blow them up. But you know, it makes sense though, because what other options do they have? They're both kind of at their lowest points in this movie, if you really think about it, especially the rebellion. But you know, the Empire is still trying to recover from the loss of the Death Star. So it's just like, what other options do we have? They're now taking them very, very seriously as a threat. So, you know, we need to, like, they need to just bring out everything they have to try and just wipe them out completely before they make another big attack like that on them again. So you understand where they're coming from. And in doing so, it also heightens up the intensity. You know, the Empire feels much more intimidating in this film. And the movie itself wants to make them more intimidating in any way it can. The introduction of Vader's theme, the Imperial March, is just, yes. That is the perfect way, that is the perfect score you could have ever written to make them feel intimidating and scary. And just the way people look at Vader. You know, in A New Hope, Leia tells him that, you know, he's on Tarkin's leash. But Tarkin is dead now. So they need to find a way to make Vader intimidating and sort of take General Tarkin's place. Also in A New Hope, people were just outright making fun of him to his face. Like, oh, you still believe in that stupid religion? How much of an idiot can you be? And everyone in this movie is like, whenever he walks into a room, it's just like eyes just staring like, what is he gonna do? What is he? Am I next? And Vader just kills anyone who just pisses him off slightly. Like, you could just breathe wrong, and I feel like Vader would just be like, nope, you're dead. I'm just gonna choke you out. You're gonna die right here on this floor. And that's perfect in order to, like, you know, cement him into like this iconic status. People loved Vader in A New Hope. I wasn't born at the time when the original Star Wars came out. But I know that within the 3 years between the release of Star Wars and the release of this one, I know for a fact he became like probably one of the most iconic characters of all time. So, you know, the movie really wanted to lead into that and really just help keep that. It's like, how do we retain his iconic status even more? Give him more to do. Make him intimidating as hell. And also include this big reveal of I am your father, which is what everyone remembers this movie for, really. It's just, yeah. How can you top that reveal? It's jaw-dropping. You know, there's people. I don't think anyone can watch this movie nowadays with that reveal being new to them or surprising, because it's iconic for a reason. It helped elevate Vader's already iconic status, and it's just so unexpected and it feels so out of left field. But when you really think about it, it kind of does make sense a little bit, given, you know, their relationship to one another. It makes Vader feel more important to the story as well. It's just, yeah, it takes Vader from just being this really, really, really scary officer, and just making him have a personal stake in everything as well. And it makes, you know, it sets the stage up for what's going to happen in the next one. That's kind of what this movie all is. It's kind of what this movie is. In many ways, it is set up for Return of the Jedi, but it doesn't try to shy away from the fact that it wants to tell its own unique story, and it works. It works, I think. But I do think an issue is that it relies so heavily on you watching Return of the Jedi afterwards that it doesn't work fully as a self-contained story. There are a lot of plot threads that just aren't resolved. Most of it isn't resolved. We don't have the whole thing with Luke and his father, Luke and Vader resolved. I guess that's the same thing, but still yet. We don't know what Yoda means by "there is another." Han is gone, so we have to go and find out wherever the hell he is. But you know, it's just, it doesn't feel complete. That's not to say I had a bad time watching this. It's still my favorite of the Star Wars movies, and you want to watch 2 hours just disappear? I thought we were an hour in when the movie was ending. It didn't even feel like 2 hours. I'm being for real. It's just, yeah, this thing just flies on by, and it's perfect. It's such a perfect little movie we got here. And the performances in this got so much better. I love how cocky Han and Leia, and how just snarky they are to each other. You know, you do get the sense that they both have grown a little bit since the last one, but they still are very, very flawed characters. Like, their character flaws are still kind of present between the two movies. And that can be said for all three of our main ones, our three main characters. Luke is still, you know, he's still thinking ahead. He's not embracing the now. He's still, you know, he's not being present. And that is, you know, a major part of his character in A New Hope, is that, you know, he wants to go out. He wants to leave Tatooine. He wants to explore. He's given the chance to, and then, you know, becomes the leader of the rebellion. But he's never really given the chance to evolve from that. And I'm so happy that this movie took that character flaw from him and just kind of put it on full display here. And it's like, okay, we're going to try and like hammer that out through this movie, right? And I know for a fact that they didn't think Star Wars was going to succeed. People expected it to be a bomb, so there was no plans for another one. But the way this evolves from the original Star Wars so seamlessly, it feels like this entire thing was planned out way in advance, when in reality it's just like, oh, we might as well make more because it made a bunch of money. But it doesn't feel like a cash grab at all. It feels like, okay, we're going to take these things that worked in the original, we're going to take all these things that also weren't resolved, and we're just going to expand on them. And we're going to try and explore them a little bit more. And in a way, even though the story is more grand, it feels much more personal. You know, we're looking deeper into Luke, while also exploring the Force through his internal journey. You know, the reason why he fails at the Force is because he's thinking ahead. And we sort of have to like strip him down and be like, okay, what is your problems? All of Luke's, you know, desire to explore and just get out there, that is what's causing him to fail. And I think highlighting that, instead of it being something practical in the physical world, and instead being a mental issue, makes his journey so much more interesting because it means it gives his character a chance to grow. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, well, you just got to get stronger. You just got to train up a little bit. No, you got to like change your mindset. You got to grow as a person if you want to like succeed as a Jedi. And that is really, really cool. And it also, you know, it gives way for inspirational quotes from Yoda that, you know, very much apply to the Force and other mystical elements. But it's, you know, you can apply it to real world stuff too. You can, you know, do or do not, there is no try. You have to give yourself, you have to give everything your 100% if you were going to attempt something, you know? You might as well, you should. You should. If you don't believe you can do it, you're going to fail. Yeah. You know, this movie is built on, like, just the idea of failure. You know, our characters are failing at every point, at every step of the way. The Millennium Falcon is broken for all of it. Luke gets kidnapped by the Tauntaun within the first, like, 2 minutes of the movie. And our characters are just getting knocked around. They're getting beat down. It's just, like, it makes it so much more exciting to watch because you want them to succeed as well. It's just like, okay, we need a win somewhere, right? Right, but it also it keeps your attention because you're waiting for them to finally succeed, and you just don't know if or when it's gonna come. And I can see this polarizing audiences when it originally released because it shakes up the status quo of Star Wars so much, and it's so dark when compared to the original one. Like so much more people get killed. There's a lot more deaths in this one. Han might be dead. You know, it's just Luke is getting his ass kicked. He's got his hand cut off. So I could see like a lot of people being sort of turned off by this. Is more when the movie came out, I mean. But I think it works. If you want to, you know, expand on the original film and, you know, increase the threat of the Empire, you need to lean into the darkness just a little bit. And I think that was the right choice for this, is to make them terrifying, just a terrifying figure. Yeah, and also, you know, like I was saying, the world building is all tied to the characters and their own personal stake in it. You know, the only reason they go to Bespin is because Han knows Lando. So he has a personal stake into that. You know, Luke can't progress in the Force because of his own personal struggles. The cave sequence is the best example of that. Great foreshadowing as well. Yeah, it's just it's tied to. It's less about what would be cool, and it's more about what makes sense for our characters, which makes a huge difference, especially in a movie like this, which is designed to be like a chase sequence, one long chase sequence. You need it to be as personal as you can make it, even if you want, you know, this big, expansive world. Make it as personal as you can, and it feels a lot smaller. It feels much more engaging that way. And it's, you know, another thing is like, for this movie is very dialogue heavy, right? But there's so much in here that is just left unsaid. You know, you can just tell what our characters are thinking by the looks they give each other. And you don't even need a single line of dialogue to understand it. And I think it's so smart of this film to just trust its audience and just to be like, I know you can keep up. Just watch the characters' eyes, pay attention to what they look like, the looks they're giving to each other, all of that, the performances they're giving, and you'll be fine. And you can keep up. And yeah, you should trust your audience to be able to keep up with your story. And I think that's another reason why it stood the test of time, is because it does trust its audience. It's like, yeah, you're gonna pay attention. you're gonna focus on this, and we know you are. So just, yeah, watch the character's eyes. It can tell the story on its own. The performances, like I said, are just fantastic in this. The visual, I'm gonna be honest, I did not notice any sort of temperament or outright strange CGI like I did in A New Hope. Like there were moments in A New Hope that were just jarring and bad when it came to any changes that George Lucas made for the special editions. I don't know. I don't know I don't know what's wrong with this one. I don't know what he changed in this one, but I couldn't tell any of it if he even made any sort of big enhancements. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It all works. It all works. I think George Lucas knows that if he touches this one, he's gonna get like flamed. People are not gonna support him anymore or be very, very upset at him. So he's like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna leave this one as it is. I'm just gonna leave it. Or if he did make any moderate or like minor altercations. What am I saying? If he made any minor adjustments or changes to this film, they didn't bother me. So good on you for showing restraint, is what I'm saying. Because yeah, it still holds up very, very well. I thoroughly enjoyed this. It is hard to review it though, because it does feel like half a movie, and I don't think I think if you were to watch just one Star Wars movie, obviously just go with the original one, A New Hope. I feel like that one plays the best if you're going as a standalone film. This one very much feels like a movie split in half. That's not to say that, you know, our characters don't have arcs by the end of it. It just feels like there's a lot of plot that's left unfinished, more than A New Hope had. And it feels like our character arcs are kind of done, but they're not really done. You know, there's still room for this particular arc that Luke is on, with him learning to be more in tune with the present. That still feels like it's a little bit unresolved. Feels like it could be, you know, there's still somewhere to go with that in a later installment. Yeah, it's just, yeah, I don't think it works as a standalone film per se, but it's still an enjoyable watch. Like, dude, that's not a criticism at all. Like, I don't take that as a criticism. I'm just still in awe of this. Maybe you have a different opinion from me. That's completely okay. You know, if you think this works great as a standalone film, awesome. You can try and convince me in the comments. I'm more than open to hearing your interpretation of that. This is coming, but of course, this is coming from someone who knows what's ahead, who has seen Return of the Jedi. If this is your first time watching Empire Strikes Back, glad you finally saw it. It's one of the best sci-fi action films of all time. It's also much faster paced than A New Hope, so I feel like this is more accessible, oddly enough, for like modern audiences. Like I said, this is just one long exciting chase sequences. Like, there's just starship battles the entire way through, and I love space sequences so much. I love the space sequences so much. I don't think you understand. I love space and I love ships, so that's my brain dead argument for like why I like a lot of this movie. Is like, I like space. And there's a lot of space in this. But yeah, I like space. It's very fast paced, this film, and I'm very, very, yeah. I think that is the reason why it feels like it flies by. It's just yeah, it just moves. It keeps moving, no breaks. Just keep it going. I've already praised the score enough. Everything about this is just, yeah. Everything about the score is perfect. Han and Leia's theme is going to be stuck in my head all day. If that is not like one of the most romantic pieces of music ever put to film, I don't know what is. John Williams, again, knocks it out of the park. He's just, everything he touches is just gold, you know? It's just all good stuff. Nothing, he can do no wrong. He can do no wrong, that man. But there's a reason why this is one of the most iconic sci-fi action films of all time. It's changed the game for Star Wars, really. Like, everything you thought you knew, gone. Like Yoda says, unlearn everything you have learned. Because this takes everything you learned in the first one, just spins it on its head in the best possible way. And also Yoda. I didn't mention Yoda all that much. Freaky little guy. W. I feel like, you know, yeah, Yoda is Yoda. You love him. He's kind of weird. He's kind of he's strange, but that's just how he is. He's got a lot of wisdom for being such a freaky little weird guy. Yeah. Again, if you know me and you've been around on my channel a little bit, freaky little guys, biggest compliment I could ever give you. So that's not an insult. Don't take it as one. Yeah, but I don't know what else I have to say about that. It's just, it's perfect. I have no notes. I literally have no notes. I'm trying to think of something to like say as like a criticism. I don't know. The closest thing I have is like it doesn't feel complete, but that's not a criticism. That's just me being excited for the next one. I don't think it's a criticism anyway. You might take it as one, but I don't know. I don't think it is. It's just building up hype. Again, I know I sounded a little disappointed to land on Jedi in the City Lights reaction, but I'm not upset by it. Disappointed maybe a little bit because I kind of did want something I haven't seen before, but god damn it, I'm never gonna have a bad time watching Empire. You know, like you can't have a bad time watching this movie. It's one of the it's just great. It's one of the best. It's one of the best. I love this movie so much. Yeah, the fights in this are just I keep rambling, but there's just every time I'm thinking I'm gonna close out the video, I'm like, oh wait, there's this one thing I haven't mentioned. The fights in this are just faster. You know, the lightsaber fights are more aggressive, and I do like the progression of that last fight. You know, it starts with Vader just being like, I don't care, just one-handed, whatever, just going at it. Then all of a sudden, there's just a shift at the end where he's just like two-handed, just bang, bang, bang. He starts getting more aggressive with it. He starts throwing shit at him. It's just great. It's great. It's a great way to show, you know, Vader's anger coming out and how he's becoming more aggressive when his plan just kind of falls through. And also, I think this is a small moment, but I think, you know, for all the people that Vader killed, like, it was their fault. And I think, you know, having Vader not kill anybody in that last scene adds something to his character where he kind of just accepts responsibility for his own failure. It sort of adds this level of honor in a way where it's like, okay, I messed up, right? I'm gonna take responsibility. I'm not gonna kill anybody. I'm just gonna go to my little egg container, corridor. I'm gonna go to my room and cry. Is what Vader said in that last scene. You couldn't hear it, but if you crank up the volume really, really high, you can hear him say what I just said. It's not in the subtitles. They forgot to code that in, but you know, it's in there. I heard it. I'm just playing. Don't do that. Or maybe you should. Maybe he did say it. I don't know. But yes, I really like that little touch they gave it to him. But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up. I like that I ended my conversation with Vader because he is the most memorable part of this movie. When you think of this movie, you think of Vader. Yeah, he has such a strong presence to him. And I know I said that about his role in A New Hope, but no, you really feel it here. I know I said before that A New Hope was my favorite use of Vader. No. There was, you know, for this not being my first time watch, this is probably the first time I noticed really just how terrified everyone was of him in this particular film. And that really made me go like, yeah, no, this is the Vader, that performance that stands out. This is the best use of Vader in the entire trilogy. And I know my opinion isn't going to change. And it's not to say his use in Jedi is bad, you know, but I don't think you can beat just the looks that people give him whenever he walks into a room, or like whenever he promotes someone and no one wants that job. That you know, my favorite bit was like he kills an admiral. He turns to just some guy next to him. He's like, "Okay, you're the admiral now. Don't fail me again." And the guy is just like, "I don't want this. I don't." His face just drops when he calls him admiral. He's just like, "Oh no, I'm next. You can just see the stress just enter his fucking face. It's great. I need to stop. Okay, I think we're done. I think I've said enough about Empire. Next week, we are going to be watching Return of the Jedi. We're not spinning the wheel because we landed on Return of the Jedi, and we needed to watch Empire in order to understand Jedi. By now, you know, I shouldn't say that. Some of you guys are only here for Star Wars, which I respect, you know. But yeah, next week we are going to be watching Return of the Jedi. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to wrapping up the Star Wars trilogy, and there's a lot of I was about to say, like, this might be like one of the few blockbusters we have on here. A lot of this is blockbusters. Now that I'm looking at it, but it's really like one of the only trilogies we have. We have Lord of the Rings and Toy Story, I think, are the only other trilogies we have to watch. Yeah. Oh, Batman, Dark Knight. Okay, so there's a few. There's a few on here with like sequels and like other stuff, but like in terms of trilogies, it's really only, there's not a lot. It's really just, not a lot. And then of course the MCU. Speaking of which, I'm so sorry, Iron Man 2 is delayed. It's a little off topic. Iron Man 2 has gotten delayed. I was a little busy last weekend, so I didn't have time to record the Iron Man 2 reaction. I will have that up this week. I'm not going to put Thor. I know, I'm so sorry. I'm a week behind. I don't think I'm going to get to Thor this week as well. It's just everything is pushed back a week. So I know Thor was supposed to come out this week. No, because I couldn't get Iron Man 2 up this past week. It's going to be up this week, and then Thor is going to be the week after, and then eventually we will hit the Avengers within a few weeks, actually. Yeah, okay, that was my little channel update, I guess, at the end of this one. Yeah, like I said, no wheel spin this week. We will spin the wheel next week, though. Yeah. So I guess I'll see you guys next week for Return of the Jedi. Let's finish up Star Wars strong. I'm really, really excited for Jedi. I kind of want to just watch it now, but no, I have to wait. I'm gonna make myself wait. If you guys have to wait, I'm gonna have to wait a week. Okay, that's the deal I've made for you guys. So I'm gonna torture myself for a week to not watch Return of the Jedi, and I'll get to it when I get to it a week from now, which will also be about a week for you guys as well, oddly enough. So thank you guys so much for watching. It really does mean a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed revisiting Empire Strikes Back. I hope you guys watched Empire Strikes Back before watching this video. Remember, it is not a replacement for watching the film itself, and I hope you guys watch Return of the Jedi for yourselves before the reaction next week. Even if you've already seen it before, it's nice to get a refresher. As we've seen in this reaction, there's some things that I forgot happened in Empire, even though it's one of my favorite sci-fi movies ever. Yeah, there's so many little details you can come to appreciate on another rewatch. So please give it, please just watch it again. There's a reason why it's here on the list. That's all I'm gonna say. Thank you for watching. See you guys next week for Return of the Jedi. Long live cinema.